Greetings, greetings. All right, I think I'm nice and clear. Hi, this is Kind Y007. And if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And I think I'll see you again. As you can see by the title, this is called Do All Hoes Need Pimps? Thumbnail, Pimps versus Hoes. So basically, it's going to get into a live stream discussion basically about pimping and hoeing, but more so, can you have, the hoes do they thing or prostitute, without a pimp. Then as I was just finishing up gathering just some more information, I had realized too that it's like there's a difference between a hoe and a prostitute, but I looked at it like, okay, so the hoe doesn't make really any money, or she could just be giving it up for other stuff, or who knows. And I have some video clips I'm going to show, give a commentary in between. So it's a topic that we're going to have some fun with. And, it does have some seriousness to it also. But, and getting information. So that's what it's about, to exchanging information. And, I would like to know how you feel. So as you see too in the chat room, the poll should be there too. Stripper poll. Now the poll asking, do these hoes need pimps? All right. Well, let's go. Okay, like I said, thank you for anyone who comes in and joins, or live, or if you happen to catch the replay. And we'll get right into it. Okay. And so my throat don't get too dry. I have something to sip. Hope everyone is doing well. I am, for those that care. And so I have up, I'm going to do a clip. One is a quick trailer. Then have a video coming up too, also from, he's a YouTuber. And he goes by Ful the P. So he does a lot of pimp talk. But particularly the clip I have is with the Fair Use to Copyright Act 1976. It is to add to discussion for commentary. Any criticism, that you guys have or whatever for, what's being discussed, let me know your opinion on it. If you have one. And also sex trafficking. So what exactly is sex trafficking? Now, I was going by the Oxford Dictionary, which says like an action of illegally transporting people from one country to another for the purpose of sexual exploitation. That's the definition. But then I looked to, it was Wikipedia, but still I was looking. So on the wiki, it said what is sex trafficking? Okay. So then it said sex traffickers or pimps are perpetrators of the crime. They're people who manipulate victims to engage in various forms of commercial sex with paying customers. Now, that definition seems like it puts just a blame on the people that are promoting the people that are going to perform the sex acts and engage. When the other one, it's like it just gives the definition. So I thought that was interesting because, like I said, with the Oxford one, it gives a definition. And then our wiki was like, sex traffickers or pimps are the ones in the blame and this and that. And we're going to get into some of that too, because even with the law, they say that they mostly arrest the customers, not the people that are actually being paid to do it. And their reasoning is that they said they don't want to burden the women any further, even though there are men prostitutes too. I know we got all kind of holes in this house. In their house. So we had that. And I'll get right into that, okay? And by the way, prostitution is the oldest profession. That came up through CBS Network. And historically, there's been prostitution and things like that. So it's just like different now with social media, So I just wonder how people feel about it. And what made me ask the question too is because of social media and things like that, like I hear about fans only and stuff like that. So people have these things in females and they're more in a position where they can like govern their own bodies, possibly making money and things like that without the middleman anymore, without anyone else extra being there. Hey, Tampa Supreme. How you doing? Yeah, so, okay. So like I said, prostitution is older profession. Yep. Okay. So, yeah. So with law enforcement, when they said that they mainly end up arresting the customers, their belief is that they want to cut off the demand for the victimized women, quote unquote, which I don't think there will ever end a demand. They're doing that as a deterrent, so you don't want to go get locked up or whatever, of course. But sex always sells. It always has. And I'll get into that as we go further on into this. The economics, I have a couple charts I want to share with y'all. Make a lot of money in the sex trafficking or prostitution. Because me saying sex trafficking is saying like it's illegal. Prostitution is becoming more legal in certain states in America. So, yeah, but we'll get into that. All right.
Once you in this game, you're in it for life. I'll take you for a ride. When it does, the only thing you can trust is your money.
My daddy knew I wasn't like the rest of them. And what he loved the most about me was that I was exactly like him. Go make us that money.
You got a question about anything? Oh, let me say this. I think I said it before, but y'all keep asking the same questions. P, how do I get known in the game? And that's why a lot of times I be like, damn, I don't know if this is for you. Because we call this shit common P sense. And it's just simple, baby. How do you get known in the lifestyle of pimping and whoring? Pimping. It's easy. It don't take no motherfucking rocket science, nigga. Pimping. That's how you become motherfucking known in the game, nigga. You know what I mean? Having them hoes outside stand down. You know what I mean? Producing a good reputation, a good reflection of you. All right, who said add me? Okay, let me see. I'm adding you right now.
Hi, let me turn some light on so you can see. It's kind of dark in here.
So as I mentioned, this is a content creator, Ful the P. Wanted to add this in because he really just is direct with the information that I was looking for and will help me with this stream. It's brief, just a few minutes for critique, commentary purposes.
So I'm renegading like a motherfucker.
Well, that ain't nothing to be smiling and laughing.
It's not, because my P is out of pocket. He's like stupid.
Hold on, let me stop you right there.
Listen here, bitch.
Pimps can't get out of pocket. A pimp was never in pocket.
What? Pimps be out of pocket as fuck.
No. A man can't be in a pocket, baby. That's for a hoe. That's for a woman. That's very
Right.
homosexual for a man to say that he was in and out of pocket. So don't refer to him like that. No matter what's going on between y'all, you're gonna have to respect that man on the platform. So something transpired between y'all, and right now you out of bounds with the game.
Right. So I'm just, you feel me, renegading, doing my own thing, you know, and it get hard, you know, it get real lonely, you know, but I also don't want to be cashing the nigga out and you not doing what you're supposed to do with the money. You feel me? Taking care of a bitch and, you know, investing in the right things.
How long you been professing to be in the game?
Well, I've been kind of doing multi-hustles, so I've probably been in the game since I was like, 17? I'm 28 now. But I ain't been hoeing long enough. I need to hoe harder and hoe for a long time.
Let me tell you this. You've never hoed before.
Yes. What do you mean? We in the truck right now.
Let me give you the understanding. Let me give you the understanding. You did dates within prostitution, but you've never hoed before. Okay? Just because you exchange, some sexual activities for currency within prostitution, that does not make you a hoe. Okay? And just because somebody turned you on, that doesn't necessarily mean that you've been turned out to the game. So, from what you're saying and the way you're conducting yourself, it's nothing disrespectful to you. All of us have had our green card in the game before. And right now,
so you feel like I got my green card still because
you've been turned on, but you ain't been turned out. You're not turned out to the game. You're not turned out. You ain't never been pimped on. Just because you break yourself by somebody that's willing to break on you, that don't mean that basically that you a hoe. That means that you just sit up there and allow somebody to live off the earnings of your prostitution. But that don't make you a hoe. So listen, if for all you Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, big head bitches out there, y'all stop letting that word hoe come out y'all mouth, because I'm going to start encouraging hoes to come on one accord and sue y'all motherfucking ass for defamation of character. You know what I mean? Because it's disrespectful for y'all to have this word hoe just keep proceeding out of y'all mouth. If you're not doing what's vital to the title of a hoe, then you shouldn't profess to be one. Hoes comply and apply the instructions of a pimp every day. If you don't do that, you're not a hoe. Now, what I will say is you're a cute prostitute. You're an attractive prostitute.
Now, see, that's what I was basically asking, like, do you need to have a pimp or not? It seems like as times change, like where we're at now, not necessarily. But then again, for different reasons that pimps do provide, it does seem like it would be a necessity. Prostitute, hoe, whatever you want to, like phrase, you know what I'm saying. So it is. Hello, anyone new that looks like they're here may have joined. And let me know your thoughts if you like. Now, I want to say too, as far as pimps, when I think of pimps, I think of protection, help protect against violence, things like that, which is extreme because there are more people being victimized or being killed. And you know that something was up. I'm hearing story after story come on the news, and they don't always tell you what their profession was or exactly what that person was into. But you keep hearing about more and more like women being found. And the way they're being found, something just was going on. It was at the hands of a man a lot of the times. It could have been a sexual assault as well. And it's just like, there's just something missing. There's too much missing there. And then it makes me wonder too, that, maybe a lot of these women are going out on a limb. They're going out, not just like with risky behavior, but they're taking risks leaving. And a lot of them, some of them end up having children too. So it just makes me think about, things like that. And the whole thing where you really need to be protected. With pimps, they'll know where you're at, who you're with, things like that. They're supposed to, right? So those things, and then ensuring that you get to where you got to get to and after, things like that, and whatever goes on in between. So that they're usually the main one that networks. They're the one that do the connections, get you linked up or get the person linked up with the customers, right? they are the ones that get paid, or they go through the pay thing, or help make the rules with that or whatever. Also discipline we see in movies and just stuff like that. Kind of think of a pimp hand getting smacked down. So coming up, I have some clips too from some of the top pimp movies. Promotion, they're the ones that are your biggest promoters, would be the pimp, or satisfied clients, right? And a daddy, like maybe a father figure type of person, possibly that is part of a void that has the person doing what they're doing anyway, so. All right.
That's some good, maybe one day, you're going to be with a pimp. Hopefully you will. Who knows? It might happen tonight. I'm going to speak by faith.
Yeah, we're going to speak by faith because I need a real P. I need a real P in my life. And I love your encouragement, Okay, so do you feel, I got a question. So do you feel like a hoe can make it on her own and become a madam to where she don't need a P?
Okay, now, when you...
Or am I wrong for saying I don't need a P?
When you use words like that M word that you just used...
And see, she just asked right there. She said, about being in a position where you won't need a pimp. Like, does he feel, and she's asking, disclaimer, say he's not a pimp, but you got pimpology.
Apply the instructions of a pimp every day. If you don't do that, you're not a hoe. Now, what I will say is you're a cute prostitute. You're an attractive prostitute, and you got some good, maybe one day, you're going to be with a pimp. Hopefully you will. Who knows? It might happen tonight. I'm going to speak by faith.
Yeah, we're going to speak by faith because I need a real P. I need a real P in my life. And I love your encouragement, Okay, so do you feel, I got a question. So do you feel like a hoe can make it on her own and become a madam to where she don't need a P?
Okay, now, when you...
Or am I wrong for saying I don't need a P?
When you use words like that M word that you just used, I become a child and I have to cover my ears because I can't listen to profanity.
Uncovering a nasty problem. Hookers have taken over a corner in Midtown Atlanta.
And now used condoms are piling.
You heard that? Hookers is taking over. Hookers is taking over. What's going on, Chaos? Hope all is well. So, yes, and again, so we're just wrapping that up. And then she actually asked the question, can you, go do the work she does, but, like me without a pimp.
Use words like that M word that you just used. I become a child and I have to cover my ears because I can't listen to profanity.
So, didn't really quite hear majority of the answer, but I do know, based on what I know of, some of his beliefs and others that are in that field, they do believe that they're, a necessity in this, and the dangers that come around, basically with the, prostitution or hoeing, whatever. Next was a quick newscast that basically was talking about how much prostitution is going on and starting to affect the neighborhood, things like that. Just wanted to, and to me, I have to laugh at stuff. It's the way stories are told. It's the way information is being brought to us that is just weird. Like, I just feel like a lot of things are weird, and I don't know, just like, okay, it is what it is, but I don't know. Sometimes stuff don't be helping. People are not helping the situation. It's like, y'all supposed to be helping. Yeah, so like I said too, when I think of a pimp, I think of they provide and may use force, the force order to have like that type of discipline going on. And just wondering what y'all thoughts are on that, what he feels needed or not. And maybe you think, like, historically, like I said, this was the first profession, or one of the first professions was prostitution. do you feel like maybe the pimp type was needed earlier on, not so much now, or needed more now, or, maybe look at it a little different way. As I mentioned, women have gained a lot of control too in recent decades, and that's been with a lot, to do with social media. And then after this, I'm going to show this news article, then I want to get into some of the United States economics based on sex work.
I got a question. So do you feel like a hoe can make it on her own and become a madam to where she don't need a P?
Okay, now when you
Or am I wrong for saying I don't need the P?
When you use words like that M word that you just used, I become a child and I have to cover my ears because I can't listen to profanity.
Is uncovering a nasty problem. Hookers have taken over a corner in Midtown Atlanta.
And now used condoms are piling up on the ground near 4th and Myrtle. That is just footsteps from Piedmont Park. CBS 46's Jamie Kennedy is there live for us tonight. Jamie.
Rick, homeowners in the area are sick of seeing prostitutes and their customers receiving pleasure out the front of their homes. They say their nightly appearance makes the area unsafe, and they are even out here when they are taking their kids to school.
I found everything from drug baggies to condoms.
Families and homeowners in Midtown are sick of their neighborhood's other residents.
Prostitution on the corner, on almost a nightly basis. And, that prostitution brings a number of other things into the neighborhood as well, from the Johns to, drug dealers and pimps.
And this problem isn't a recent one.
Between me and my wife, probably 2 to 3 times a week. So over the past 8 years, you kind of think about that. That's around 800 times we've probably called over an 8-year period.
Todd says the action doesn't stop with a rising sun.
But in the morning when I get up to go to the gym, I usually leave the house around 5:30, and they're out then. And we've seen them as late as 7 a.m. when the sun's coming up and people are taking their kids to the bus stop.
He says police do as much as they can and that they do make arrests, but it doesn't stop the unsavory behavior. For Todd and the rest of the community, the problem is causing irreparable damage.
One neighbor's daughter, we were trying to kind of talk about the subject and not mention it, and the daughter chimed in. She's, I believe, about 10 years old and said, "Oh, you mean the prostitutes?" And, that's just not something that a kid that age should even know. Yeah.
Now, we've seen a number of Atlanta PD cruisers coming through this area, but with evidence like this still at the back of people's house, they're at wit's end about when this problem will end. Live in Atlanta, Jamie Kennedy, CBS.
Well, I will say I did just see one of the rappers that had that B, lowercase b on it. Kind of similar to Beats. The B, that's the B condom, which is owned by a black man, and I have him in a video that I did Yeah, so I remember the name of the video now. NLE Chopper, he was working on naturally curing STDs, stuff like that. All right. Appreciate everyone that's come through. You're here now. Catch the live. Appreciate it. And anyone that ends up catching the replay. So that was interesting. And I was just mentioning the B condom. That's a black-owned company, condoms. And yeah, you can see him like just sitting all through that like alleyway there. I just noticed it more just now for some reason. So yeah. Hang on a second though. Okay. Here we go. So I was just trying to play it and talk too. And like I mentioned, the customers are getting locked up and not pretty much the actual workers from what they're saying. Just gonna show some clips from some of the top pimp movies. Oh, yes, I had a list of questions. Do you feel that pimps... Wait. Do you feel that it's the pimps? I don't know why I wrote it like that. Do you feel... All right, I asked that. Do you feel that pimps are needed or not? I think one of the options too when I put in the poll was, you might be unsure and you just put like, yeah, I'm unsure. Do you feel that the pimps are disrespecting the women, are the disrespective part of it, and like they're more to blame for this? Like it's more their fault for the exploitation of women. I know men do it too. You don't really hear much of the men, but there are men that do it too. Yeah, of course. Then my other question would be, do you hold the women accountable, at all? Do you hold the women accountable too? Do you hold them both accountable, or do you kind of figure one is more accountable for it? One way or the other, whether you agree with prostitution, or, hoeing or not. Also, when you think about it too at work, like somebody told me before that temp agencies are pimps. They feel like they're just like pimps. They basically show what you got to offer. They own you. And you're binded through them by the contract. So whatever comes through gets to them first, and then they piece you off. So it's kind of like the similar way that the position of the pimps are. Okay. Yeah, let me. In a video. Yeah, I finished that. Yeah, some of it's no sound. Some of it I do have the sound on here, so I just remember that too. What happened? So yeah, I said this is some clips from back in the day. Yeah. So it was just interesting because my question was, does a hoe need a pimp? And like I showed,
it's all gonna be all right. It's gonna be cool. Times I be
like,
damn, I don't know if this.
You're not a hoe unless you have a pimp, according to him. So I thought, I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting. We played it already? Yeah.
Money falling from the sky.
Somehow, the little lion managed to get away. He drug his ass back to the jungle more dead and alive, just to run into that little monkey and some more of his signifying jive.
Hustle and Flow. This was a big one. Huge.
No, they got all their pre-employment BS, and they can't get in the Apple Store.
Right here, what I have is this was a clip in accordance to copyright 1976, using it for purposes of commentary and possible criticism. This man right here is a former pimp, and he is basically coming out and talking about his life and how his life was on the streets and how he pretty much hit rock bottom. And he's encouraging people to help basically get these hoes off the street. So he felt like, maybe you should go on out there and just, snatch them up and show them a better way. Maybe whisper in their ear, something like that. I don't know. More power to his heart and all of this, though. But I'm like, I started thinking to myself, like, has a pimp smacked another pimp? I feel like in a way they would really feel some kind of way hearing him saying that. And then on the other hand, it's just like, I don't know. He's kind of set people up for that strong pimp hand. I don't know. I'm going to get to that right in a second.
But you all here, you folks right here, right now, could make a big difference right now. I challenge this room to go down on Turk and Taylor, and I'll make the hookup for you, and get one girl and bring her into an incubator like this. Show her how to do something. Show her how to do something. Invest in one girl. You can't solve the problems of Tenderloin. It's 10,000 people down there. Take one. Solve her problem. And when you solve her problem, you'll solve her kids, her mama, her grandkids, her brother, her halfway dude, her neighbors. You'll solve a whole bunch of people's just one. And when she leaves out of here and walks back to Turk and Taylor, suited and booted, hey, how you look like that? Because I got a job at the garage. You can solve a problem real easily. All the minds in here, all the integrity here, all the resources you got. Come on, folks. Invest in our future. Invest in our future. You can break the chain. Because there's people in the Tenderloin, there's a corner on Turk and Taylor, again, all sitting on the corner, sharing a crack pipe. Generations. You all right here in this room could break that generation gap. You can go all over and above all other things that's going on.
This is serious, so I hope whoever's listening.
And I'm talking from experience. I spent 30 years in the Tenderloin. I got here 30 years ago. Future. Invest in our future. You can break the chain. Because there's people in the Tenderloin, there's a corner on Turk and Taylor, again, all sitting on the corner, sharing a crack pipe. Generations. You all right here in this room could break that generation gap. You can go all over and above all other things that's going on. And I'm talking from experience. I spent 30 years in the Tenderloin. I got here 30 years ago on the corner of 6th Market and Golden Gate, where all the streets come together. There was a big signpost. It said, stop, do not enter, go back, wrong way. I didn't see any of them signs. And I wound up in the Tenderloin. I went from driving on the freeway to living under the freeway in 30 days. That's what addictions do. 30 days. And I got stuck down here 12 years, pissing on myself on the streets, sleeping on the concrete, got an intimate relationship with all the concrete streets in Tenderloin. I got arrested 14 times on one corner. Didn't have enough sense to go to another corner.
All right, so you heard that too. He literally was saying to the audience, he's challenging them to go out, get at least just get one of them off the corner and show them another way. Which I know there's other ways to go about it, but I just thought that was crazy just hearing him say that the way he did. So I just got this left, and I'll probably pretty much wrap this up. This was some facts about the U.S. sex economy. Like I said, there's a lot of money in it. Human trafficking in general said it's like a $30 billion a year industry. Here, as you can see, it says the pimps in Atlanta take in more than $30K per week. And it's an older article. And it's the most recent one that I was able to find. So, okay. That's too far. Okay, so Atlanta's underground sex trade is larger than Seattle, DC, and Denver's combined. Wow. Price of sex acts in major U.S. cities ranges anywhere from between $15 to $1,000. I was thinking too, it depends on the person, but it was basically saying how much time is spent. So it's based on time too. Then they have them in like 15-minute increments. So I have a chart coming up that shows some of that. Right here shows that sex sells the most. You got sex first, then guns. Sex first, then drugs, and then guns. No, guns is second. Okay, it depends on which one we're looking at. But Atlanta is across the top. $290 million. sources, the Urban Institute. Yeah. This is the size of the underground economy, at least what they know anyway. Still got Atlanta at the top. Wow. So yeah, that was just some information here I want to show. And this is the not bad. This was the increments that I was just mentioning in like 15-minute intervals. They have it. So I can get right back to it. Right here. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. So there you go. And you have the color coded dots there. So, and that's where you get the price ranges from $15 up to $1,000. I don't mean to say up to, because some are like $1,000 and up over that. Right, and it's hard to find all data because it's underground, right? How much money pimps take in each week by city? San Diego here is a little over 10,000. In Atlanta, again, is between the 30 to 35,000. And that's weekly. Pimps find prostitutes from their friends, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that was just a little more information about pimps and where they think to get the information from, whatever. Yeah. And then we think of pimps too. You think of men. I mostly think of men. And Keke Palmer was in a movie, Pimp. I must have kind of missed a lot of that. But anyway, just had me thinking about that too. Like that is somebody too that, it's just all about like stepping up, maybe having extra protection for stuff like that. And the way things are like going these days, it just seems like it really is more, more scary, way more dangerous, too. It always was dangerous, but it just is. And then too, what a lot of people may not or realize is that when prostitutes get killed, things like that, it don't get covered. It usually does not even get covered by the news or anything. Over the years, the cops, they'll leave it as a cold case, whatever, go on with it. And it's like that with trans and gays too, people in the LGBTQ community. So I think the statistics are really high on the crime and sex crimes that are done against them. And murders are involved too with some of them. And they're not mentioned, But now it seems like they may be mentioned more. So, that's good too. They're human beings too. All right. So, I just had one more thing with the trailer. I'll just add that in there right now. It's just a trailer. It's open for the public.
Once you in this game, you're in it for life. It's gonna take you for a ride. When it does, the only thing you can trust is your money.
My daddy knew I wasn't like the rest of them. And what he loved the most about me was that I was exactly like him. Go make us that money.
You crazy, just like your mama.
Yeah, I know my bitches is bad, but if you keep staring at them like that, I'm about to charge you. Show me how you gonna do it, baby. Sorry, you're looking at me. Did you like it? Yeah. I got game, huh? I got some new girls working for me. It's only going up for me from here. You hear me?
You can never leave me. You can either work for me, or you can die.
Now, I may not have been the best mother in the world, but sometimes you don't get to live the life you want to live. We gotta get out of here. I ain't afraid of them.
They gonna search every street.
is you anyway? Half girl, half pimp?
All girl, all pimp.
So yeah, that goes. Just a quick recap. Yeah, okay. So some information directly from a pimp is that you're not really officially a hoe unless you have a pimp. So you're not even considered one by some unless you have a pimp. So I said, okay, so do I feel they need it? Yeah. Yeah, I would have to say yes. That would be my answer. Okay, I did get a few votes in on the poll here. Let me see. I don't see what they are though. Okay, I don't know why. I don't see it and it doesn't show me through this end. I have to go on. All right. So while I'm doing that, okay. Yeah, like I said my answer was yes. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. Violence, you can get robbed, not paid at all, things like that. So I mentioned what pimps bring. Again, like protection, the pay, more of a guarantee, less risk factor on top of the many risk factors that you're already in doing this. Discipline. They'll be one of your biggest promoters. So promotion. And I said daddy, a daddy. It's daddy or father. Some type of a father figure like that, unless you possibly have a female one. There are madams. I should have looked them up. I believe that they're the ones that oversee the house. They oversee the prostitutes in them, right? But they're female, right? AGMT. Yeah. So okay. So I showed that one. Yeah. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, and then a news clipping of some piled up condoms, things like that. Some areas that are out of control with it. Like I just said too, yes, I do feel a pimp is needed. Overall, yeah, I would have to say yeah. Also, what a lot of us learned in school was Maslow's hierarchy. So that's what the pyramid, when they talk about human basic needs, things like that, psychological self-esteem, things like that. Your basic needs have to be met. So that's on the bottom. That's first. They even show that with the pimp talk, things like that. So they also go by like that pyramid or that hierarchy in some type of way. Hey, my family dome. How y'all doing? So yeah. So I was just basically just recapping some of that. If anyone has anything they'd like to add to, they can feel free to. My answer is pretty much yes. Yes, one is needed.
All girl, all pimp.
Went over the economics too. There's a lot of money involved too. There is a lot of money. It's the highest money maker too. Seems like they keep that quiet too. You don't really hear when you hear about money and wealth. You don't really hear about how much it is in the sex business. I mean, human trafficking alone, 30 billion. So a fraction of that billion is going to, the prostitution, hoeing, consensual, sex. I would think, for the most part. Been good. I know I'm silly. But yeah, so that was what I basically just had to say about that. And, unless anyone has anything they'd like to add to that, any of the pimpology you've heard or may have missed. If you did miss anything, somewhat towards the beginning was when went over the fact that you're not considered by some a hoe unless you have a pimp. So I said, okay, it kind of makes my question invalid.
Hi, let me turn some light on so you can see. It's kind of dark in here. So I'm renegading like a motherfucker.
Named Slick Back.
That ain't nothing to be smiling and laughing
It's not, because my pee is out of pocket. He's like stupid.
Hold on, let me stop you right there.
Listen here, bitch.
Pimps can't get out of pocket. A pimp was never
I
in
know I had
pocket.
to ad-lib that one more
Let me
time.
stop you right there.
Listen here, bitch.
Pimps can't get out of pocket. A pimp was never in pocket.
What? Pimps be out of pocket as fuck.
No. A man can't be in a
Now there's some fun slapping around too.
That's for a hoe. That's for a...
Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments below, whether you're here live or you catch the replay. Whether you have a difference in opinion and you don't agree with me that I think pimps are needed for the hoes, the whores, the hookers, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them. Even though I guess there's a difference to some people. So, yeah, on any dating is like a freak out to me. So, I mean, I guess I would damn sure say, yeah, have a pimp on hand, like seriously. So yeah, I see a lot of lions dens and women just ready to walk right into them. So it's like, oh my God, okay. My whole thing is I don't want to be a victim, not anymore. So what do? I arm up and then you're just good. And I work on spirituality so that the spirit is what guides, nothing else. That's how you don't get tricked or none of that funny shit. So hope to see y'all back here too on some of my upcoming videos. That's where I'm gonna have some discussions on manifesting and actually preserving some of the sexual energy, and we're gonna put it someplace else. So I just want to go by some of those guides and things like that and see if you can feel a difference in your life. I know I have. And start to see things that you want to see in the future start to be in the present, and some things already come to the past. Good, great things, right? And the same thing with that, and get rid of some of the bad things, So yeah, so that's it. Like I said, prostitution is one of the, if not the earliest profession, according to CBS. And it's been going on, it always will. It's becoming more legalized now, but I'm just seeing other people just taking things more into their own hands and wanting to replace men in a lot of different ways. And it's just not going to happen. To some extent, you'll be able to do some things, but I just always want to be careful. And yeah, I think pimps are definitely needed. So yeah. Thanks again, everybody, for coming through. Appreciate y'all. Okay, y'all. Bye. Peace. So yeah, one last thing. Pimps versus hoes. Pimps win. Pimps up, hoes down, is it? All right, until next time, y'all. Peace.